Hello, this is yours truly, Charles Prosper, with another installment of Success Through Consistency. And by way of introduction, if you don't know who I help you to achieve your most important goals through the power and the principle of consistency. And in this particular installment, I'm going to talk about something that people often ponder many times over the course of their lifetime. And I'm going to let you know this particular topic that I'm going to cover today is much more direct and simple than you can ever imagine. People often ask, how can I discover my life purpose? And I'm going to tell you it's a very easy process. It's easier than you think. First of all, I want to tell you a story about a young man who I met in a supermarket where I was making groceries one day. His name is Jorge. And I said, Jorge, how you doing? I think he's about 21, 22 years old. Well, he was at the time. This was a few years ago. And I said, Jorge, how's it going? He was bagging my groceries, bright smile. Oh, fine. Everything's going good. I said, are you in school now? He says, yeah. I'm studying to be a veterinarian. I said, oh, do you like the idea of being a veterinarian? He says, no, not really. That was what a counselor suggested that I do since I have an affinity for animals. And I said, really? So what is it that you really want to do? And he says, and then his eyes lit up. You saw the emotion and the energy in his face. His whole face lit up with a new glow when I asked him, what is it that you really want to do? He says, well, I really want to be a fighter pilot. And I said, well, that's obvious. Then why don't you study to be a fighter pilot? Why don't you join the Air Force and go on the path of being a fighter pilot? He says, well, my school counselor said that it was much more practical to choose a career like to be a veterinarian than to be a fighter pilot. I was almost floored. I said, Jorge, there's nothing more practical than doing what your heart is telling you to do. If you follow the directives of someone else who doesn't understand who you are and what it is that you feel that you need to do, you're going to choose something quote unquote practical, but it's going to burn you out because you cannot continue to have passion. You don't have passion for something that is selected based upon somebody else's opinion and somebody else's idea of what is practical. There is nothing more practical than following your dream, as I told him, because when you come across the certain obstacles and setbacks that all of us come across when we achieve any important goal, you will move forward because the why will be greater than the obstacles that are before you. But if you're doing something based on somebody else's opinion, based on somebody else's idea of what you should be doing, when you come across an obstacle, the why will be weak and the obstacle will throw you back, and it will probably wind up making you discouraged and leaving that particular path of what somebody else told you was practical versus you following your passion. And he says, yeah, I see what you mean. You're right. I'm going to think about it. Well, when he said, I'm going to think about it, that to me was telling me, well, it's a definite maybe. Because if you think about something, it's a way of postponing you actually making a decision. So the irony behind this particular story of Jorge and what he really wanted to do was become a fighter pilot. He was willing to risk his life to defend his country, to become a fighter pilot, but he was not willing to risk his life in making a decision upon something that he really wanted to do. There was such an irony in this. And so this is what I'm trying to say, is that it's easy to know what your life purpose is. And I'm going to tell you in 2 different steps. Your life purpose is based on your natural talents and your aptitudes and what you do naturally. And number two, it's always based on things that you've naturally gravitated toward and finding yourself doing with joy, even though you're not getting paid for it. This is how you know what your life purpose is. Your life purpose is not what you do, it's who you are. And who you are can be expressed in many different professions and many different occupations. But first you must understand who you are, what makes you who you are, and then you find the vehicle, the profession, the activity, the occupation that allows you to express who you are. You already know who you are. The thing is that you may not want to accept the thing that you really want to do because maybe whatever it is that you want to do, you don't consider it to be quote unquote practical. You don't consider it to be something that you could immediately make an income with. But the fact that you have this talent shows that something was given to you that has to be given to the world. And the thing is that everybody doesn't have to follow a natural path of what people tell you when you go to school. School counselors can give you some horrible advice, and they are based on that same one-track pattern. You go to high school, you get an education, you go to college, you take a career, and then you start a profession. I don't think that everybody should get a college degree. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not anti-education. I have a BA in psychology and I have a master's degree in psychology as well. So I have high levels of learning, but that doesn't make any difference to who you are and who you need to do. Bill Gates dropped out of college. And who was it? I'm trying to think. It was one of the defense ministers. I can't think of his name. Also dropped out of college. You have lots of very wealthy people in history who didn't have a college degree, who didn't go along the path of everyone else. It is said, it is the path less traveled is the path that makes all the difference. So you can't travel the path that everybody travels to find out who you are. Know what your talents are. Know what your natural abilities are. Know what you've naturally gravitated toward. Know who you are, and it will be revealed obviously to you who it is that you are and what it is that you need to do. Depending on your particular talents and inclinations. For example, my particular talent and ability is, my goal is to help improve the quality of life of other people, which could take the form of a teacher, speaker, writer, social worker. And in fact, I've done all of these things. All of these things have been able to express who I am. So I can live my life purpose in a myriad of different occupations as long as that occupation is expressing who I am. So just look at yourself and know what has been the things that you've naturally gravitated to, what has been that which has given you the most joy to do, and follow that. Follow your joy, follow your passion, follow your talents, follow your ability, and create a new job behind it. Well, I don't want to say job. You can create a new business based on that nobody else has ever done before. Or you can find some type of profession that's already there that will allow you to express it. You already know who you are. You already know what makes you feel joyful. You already know what your talents are. You just don't want to recognize them and step up to the fact that what you're doing now is not what you're supposed to be doing. We have in this book, The Prophet, when he talks about self-knowledge, and I'm talking about already knowing what it is in your heart that you need to do. You already know it. The Prophet says this. I'm going to take a little excerpt from when he talks about self-knowledge. He says, "Your hearts know in silence the secrets of the days and the nights. but your ears thirst for the sound of your heart's knowledge. You would know in words that which you have always known in thought. You would touch your fingers. You would touch with your fingers the naked body of your dreams. So the prophet is saying that you already know who it is, what and who you are. You just sometimes don't want to accept it and embrace it. Now, what I want to say to you right now is just give yourself a bit of self-examination and understand that you always have known who you are and what it is that you need to do, but don't make your selection based on somebody else's opinion or something that somebody else considers impractical. There's nothing more practical than following your dreams. I hope this has rung true to you on some level. And before we go, I want you to get a copy of my book, Why Consistency is the Key to All Success and How to Be Consistent to Achieve Any Goal, which you can purchase on Amazon for about $20, or you can get it here just looking at the links below, and there's a PDF file that is available for your download. The book is excellent. It's about 240 pages. You can't put it down. I say that because I know what's in it, because I wrote it. So get that book today. Also, in the links below, you're going to find that there's an audio program, not a program, but rather a 30-minute audio that I did about 4 or 5 years ago. Absolutely excellent. It will just open your mind to new heights of what it is that you need to do in terms of fulfilling yourself, fulfilling your purpose, following your dream, and staying consistent until you achieve your most important goals. And if you're not already a member of my Facebook group, go to your Facebook, type in Success Through Consistency, and you will be able to join the mastermind group that we have of accountability partners to help you achieve your most important goal. Now, just before we go, there's something that I want to ask of you, and bam, there it is. Thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Hit the like and subscribe button. Leave me a comment or question down below, and I will respond to that question by creating a video to answer it. So I hope this has been helpful to you, and look forward to the next installment. And I'm hoping that you, as always, will remain consistent and persist to achieve your most important goals, because it's worth it to you, and we need what it is that you have to give to the world. Thank you again, and we will see you the next time.